Welcome to the Luncheon edition of news as produced by Triple N for today, Thursday, 18th August 2022. The Luncheon edition comes to you through the auspices of Flow. Coming up in the headlines, locally, residents in St. Andrew to benefit from health fair. Regionally, in Trinidad and Tobago, student nurses protest for better treatment and outstanding stipends. Internationally, Kenya's Ruto says no time to waste after election as rivals prepares court challenges. And let's not forget, we have the latest in sports. Classy half century from Brooks and Hussein's 3-4 anchors West Indies in a comfortable win over New Zealand. I'll have the details for you when I return.
Northern News Network. First in news, reviews, and interviews.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most. Your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through the MyFlow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Welcome back. I am Don Ezra Francois. Residents in the vicinity of Telescope and surrounding villages would benefit from a health fair on the weekend organized by the Ministry of Health's National Infectious Disease Control Unit together with Grenada Food and Nutrition Council. Jonel Benjamin, Program Director, noted that the services are free for every person, inclusive of children who can be beneficiaries of childhood vaccines. The health fair will take place on Saturday, 20th August 2022 at Telescope Community Center from 12 noon to 6 p.m.
We are doing this activity as another part of our outreach to capture and to provide health checks, health benefits, opportunities for persons who want to just check up on their health status. It's all part of our promotion for knowing your status, part of our our approach to give people the opportunity to have an update on their health status. And this activity will be offering a wide range of services, starting from blood pressure, blood glucose level checks. We're offering childhood vaccines. We also do have a doctor that is going to be present on scene, and that doctor will be able to provide consultations to clients, to persons who would like to see a doctor. We also will be offering the opportunities for persons to have pap smears, possibly PSAs or rectal examinations for men.
The execution and implementation of government projects on the sister Isle of Carriacou and Petite Martinique should see a positive difference as the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and local government works in close collaboration with the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation. The expected close collaborative efforts were emphasized by Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Honorable Andy Williams, as he paid his first official visit to Carriacou. He was part of a team that included officials from the Caribbean Development Bank, led by Acting Division Chief of the CDB's Social Sector, Dr. Martin Batiste. The visit was twofold, with the team surveying the ongoing Bishop's College Rehabilitation Project and also using the opportunity to discuss further CDB project funding for the Twin Island Parish. Dr. Batiste noted that there are some delays in the completion of the Bishop's College project. However, he gave assurance that the bank will be working with the contractors to ensure the project is completed in short time. One of the main areas of possible future CDB funding being examined is the health and wellness infrastructure project, which will seek improvement not just in infrastructure, but also in equipment and other areas. Therefore, taking an appreciation of what is needed to be done, the team visited Princess Royal Hospital. In addition, CDB assistance also is being sought for the development of the TMR Community College 6 Rose campus. Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Honorable Andrew, said the MCC Development Initiative is a high priority for the government, which wants to enhance the learning opportunities that are available for students on the Sister Isle. This concludes the local segment of the news as produced by Triple N. The sports is up next.
First, fast, and back to You are totally covered by Triple M.
Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most: your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We're also providing Flow study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your from the safety of your own home. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Good day, sporting fans. Originally in cricket, a classy half-century from West Indies batsman Shamar Brooks anchored the team with 5-wicket win over New Zealand and a 1-0 series lead at the Kensington Oval in Barbados, chasing 192 wins. Brooks together 79 from 91 deliveries and formed part of a crucial partnership with West Indies captain Nicholas Pooran. The pair put up 75 for the fourth wicket, with Pooran getting 28 from 47. In pursuit of the total, New Zealand struck an early blow after removing Kyle Myers for 6. Shai Hope blasted an aggressive looking 26 of 24, but was eventually caught by Tom Latham after bowling of Team Saudi. Casey Carty then struggled to 11 from 22 before being mopped up LBW by Mitchell Santner. Pooran then combined with Brooks to push his score to 149 for 4. After several rain interruptions, Brooks was dismissed shortly after the third time the team retook the pitch. The batsman was finally out after edging the latter off the bowling of Trent Boult. Pooran perished a few overs later, but with the damage done, Jermaine Blackwood then combined with Jason Holders to see the Windies ease over the line at 193 with 6 balls remaining. On the international scene in basketball, LeBron James has agreed to a 2-year contract extension with the Los Angeles Lakers worth a whopping $97.1 million. James, 37, had been entering the final year of a contract worth $44.5 million. His new deal, as reported by ESPN, includes a player option for the 2024-25 season. The NBA missed the Lakers' final 2 games of the 2021-22 season after suffering a sprained ankle. Although he did enjoy the second most productive campaign of his storied career in terms of points per game, he played 56 games overall, averaging 30.3 points per game, only the second time he has averaged 30 in a season. 31.4 points per game for the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2005-2006. James averaged 8.2 rebounds per game, 6.2 assists, and brought 3-pointers into his arsenal more than ever, hitting a career-high season average of 2.9 successes and 8.0 attempts per game. He also became the first player in NBA history to record more than 10,000 career points, rebounds, and assists. During career, James has won 4 NBA titles with 3 different teams: the Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Lakers. In each of his championship winning seasons, James was voted as Finals MVP, while he is also a 4-time regular season MVP and an 18-time All-Star. And that's sports for you. Thank you for listening.
After this commercial break, international news will be next on the station.
Now, more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most: your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We're also providing Flow study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through my Flow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
On the international scene, yes, but said he plans to go ahead before the administration as Israel will holding a request legally challenge the election results. Here are the details.
Kenya's President William says he's forging ahead with creative administration, even as his violent section has a legal challenge to the result. Speaking after a meeting on Wednesday with elected officials from his line, Ruto said no Kenya would be left behind.
They now want us to deliver on the commitments that we gave the people of Kenya. And I want to say to this team that we do not have the luxury of time to waste.
However, Raila Odinga says there is no legally valid way or President-elect.
Kenya faces a great legal and political crisis.
The veteran opposition became a close contributor, according to the Electoral Commission Monday. 4 out of 7 electoral commissioners has shown that result, saying the tallying process was made. Odinga has announced that he will atrocity through courts without directly referencing Odinga. Also had this said.
When we process this, we will get lost naturally because we are Democrats and believe in the rule of law.
Has a mandate to follow the Supreme Court. He's gone on this before. In 2013 and in 2017, when the result was quashed and election repeated, the court said on Wednesday it was ready to handle any petition and was making preparations just in case.
Staying in touch with what happens in the region means you're staying with Triple A. Congratulations on making the perfect choice.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most. Your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through my Flow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Welcome back to Regional Developments. In Trinidad and Tobago, dissatisfied student nurses are demanding better treatment and to be paid outstanding stipends as they continue to pursue their degree at the College of Science, Technology, and Applied Arts of Trinidad and Tobago. We get more in this report.
This is how the group of students is attached to the College of Science, Technology, and Applied Arts of Trinidad and Tobago describe how they feel as they complain of non-payment of stipends over an extended period of time. Students Walker explained that part of their arrangement as they work toward obtaining their degree is receiving a stipend from the Ministry of Education.
We are putting in the work, we go every day, we go to work, we care for patients as we signed up for. However, we were promised a stipend and just want what we were promised. We work hard every day and we want what we are owed.
Another student added that apart from the issue of not receiving stipend, there are other matters that
they fund no benefits, no, yes, no nothing in working in the hospital settings, no vacation, no shuttle service. Our hours are very regular. Our hours in making to pass out as a general nurse, that is also hectic as well.
It is.
Proper communication, lack of PPE gear.
The group said coming to the Ministry of Education to highlight the issues was their last resort.
We have not heard any word from anybody, and that's why we came out today to get answers, because we have been reaching out to the heads of our school. We have also been reaching out to the ministry, and we have not got any answers from anyone. So we decided to take a stand today and let our voices be heard.
When contacted on the matter, Minister of Education, Dr. Neon Gadsby confirmed that payments of stipends started this week, with 385 nurses paid for the period January 2021 to September 2021. The minister added that payment for October 2021 to June 2022 is currently being processed for 400 nurses, and it is expected that these payments should start this week. Dr. Gadsby noted that processing of the payments began as soon as the required information was received from the students through COSTAT.
This wraps up the Luncheon edition of news as produced by Triple N for today, Thursday, 18th August 2022. I have been your presenter, Don Ezra Francois. Thank you for joining us.
From many distant lands, our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain. By test of their courage, our freedom was gained.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As we start this program, you can pick up your telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socio-economic issues, any issue trending, any topical issue of the day, we speak about it. And the most interesting is to interrupt us at any time and change the conversation. You can introduce your own subject matter. We don't make much rules in our program. We encourage people to call and punch and just be respectful. It's always good to call on your main subject matter because you have a chance, an opportunity to call back and rebut. And we don't mind you starting the program. If you pick up your telephone and give us a call now, we speak about what you want to speak about. Over the last couple of days, we had the Carnival. And for the whole Carnival season, you would have heard a lot about culture, to the extent that some people believe culture in Grenada is about entertainers and perhaps the revelers and jab. Well, culture can define all the ways of life, including arts, belief, institution, operation. You see, we have to get it clear. Culture is practically a way of life. It's not only about music and entertainment. What you eat, what you drink, your mannerism, how you behave, your attitude. If you have people using obscenities as if it's going out of style, that is part of the culture. In yesteryear, when you go to a community, particularly in rural areas, people kept pigs. They'd have a pig. Most neighbors have a pig tied. Some of them would let go the pig and they put wire in the pig nose for it not to plow. That was part of our culture. In today's society, people don't keep pigs anymore. Standard of living increase. As soon as you fix a house, neighbors complaining, pig smelling. So we put in wire in the nose. Men and women put wire in the nose now. And that again is part of our, you want people 3-4 wire in the nose. Well, they don't plow, but they say it enhances their good look. Men would never tell them they don't looking good. How much wire a woman have in her nose, the man she looking well. She well nice. And I noticed some men, maybe they're trying to attract men too. So they drop some wire in their nose. So that is part of the culture. So culture is not only about music. There are some parts of your culture you wish you didn't have. And you are encouraged to get rid of it. Laziness is part of your culture too. Some people, it seems as though because of environmental factors and training, you find people more lazy than others. But that's not a part you want in your culture. The issue of abusing women, men beating women, that is part of the culture you don't want. You want that fade out. You don't want that to be part of your culture. You're not a Muslim. Muslim could have 5 wives. And the Quran says you could beat her slightly. You could admonish her. You could deny your bedroom. And you could beat her slightly. If you have 5 wives, you could deny your bedroom. If you have 1 wife, you can't bother to deny your bedroom. So then it's better to go in the bedroom. And Grenada passed laws now that you could rape your wife. So when you go in the bed, they show you a permission. She might have to keep a rasta nearby and say, watch. A partner in the shop tell me his wife have a rasta in. You see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nothing. But Friday and Saturday, she taking it up. Because she know he getting paid on Friday. So she want him around. So as these things get entrenched, it is part of our culture too. So culture is not only about the arts. You find people who are involved in that industry. In fact, sometimes they believe that that alone is our carnival. You know, if they are not there, carnival won't take place. So these are issues I think your habits, what you eat, our national dishes, all done. It's from independence. We start to propagate that more and more. In the next couple of years, who knows? The national dish might change. It might be the favorite chicken people line up for. But cultures are very dynamic things. And the influence of the North American culture have serious impact on us. Although our political system is tied to the British, the democratic system, one man, one vote, constitution, and etc. But our lifestyle tend to be more attached to the Americans. So we are more influenced by the American culture. And we have a number of Grenadians in America that is a kind of hybrid now, because what they see in the United States of America, they want it implemented in Grenada now. So in case they intend to come back, they will live an American life in Grenada. That has its influence. The United States is an extremely powerful country. And the influence of the American culture is extremely powerful in third world countries and Grenada also. And the American kind of arrogant, and cocky. And he's unstable. Nothing is wrong with that. When a people is successful, they just get arrogant. Sometimes even rude and disrespectful. Anywhere American go, in some countries, I'm American. They might be afraid to say that in Afghanistan and Iran and Russia now, because of the level of hostility between the West and these countries. But in Grenada, they don't mind flaunting the Americanness in Grenada. So Grenada is seriously influenced. Even the churches are seriously influenced by American culture. American wants to marry man. They want to marry women. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. K.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a point. But most people thinking, the word foreign mean you have to be in a strange land to be a foreigner. So, what is your view on this? The word foreign.
This could be associated with aliens. If you come from a different land, you're an alien. And I think foreign come because foreigners, foreign land. So if you're in Grenada, in Jamaica, they say they come a foreign. They don't even want to know whether you Jamaican or whether you in England or America. They just use come a foreign. So we tend to associate it with people who have gone to other countries, particularly if you come from North America and Europe and England.
Yes. So well, I thank you much for your how you explain it. But I will give you my view of what it means. Yes, if you listen to it. The word foreign, you see, a lot of the word foreign, it have all it means it could have all different meaning. The word foreigner. Now I will explain to you what I'm really talking about. Now you could be in the studio there, and you could be a foreigner. Now I will explain to you what I'm really talking about. The word foreign. Well, you explain it to me in your way, as you fully said. But the word foreign, it's something that you either there is something the unknown, the things you does not know. So it becomes like foreign to you. You could be in your own home, you could be a foreigner. You could be walking the street, you could be a foreigner. The word so it's all different meaning the word foreign. Yes, you could be on the street, use a foreigner. Things that does not reveal you don't know about it. It's far from your thinking. So it sounds strange to you. You could go in your house, you see something strange, you never saw it before. You is foreign to it. You don't know what is it. So it is simple like this.
Yeah, you're correct.
There's
It
something you
feels
not
very
know.
foreign to you.
Yes, you
You
don't
don't
know
know
about it.
about it. It's alien to you, strange. Yeah.
Yes, so it's not only going to a foreign land, but in your very homeland, you could be a foreigner. And you what it means. Something that you strange to you. Something you could be anywhere you are. You are boss. Your children, you could be you. So it's a lot of different meaning. The word foreign is not only going as your school said in a strange land. All of this is it, but it's a wide circle. Things you don't do. So he was foreign to it. So it is simple like this. If you don't want to be too.
Yes, it's good and it's interesting because you correct. Normally we say they come a foreign, and we're referring to people who come from another land.
Yes, so
But it's also if something is new to you, you don't know nothing about it, it's foreign to you.
yes,
And some people say this behavior is foreign to our home.
yes,
We don't accustomed with this behavior.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So this is my short presentation.
Yes, my brother. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Yes, you see, sometimes people say this is alien behavior. What kind of phenomenon is that? We're not accustomed with that. We don't accustomed with this behavior. It's foreign to us. And so you have foreigners. Foreigners principally associated with other lands and etc. And because culture is such a dynamic thing, it's not static, it's dynamic, it's ever changing. So you're going to find some new practices coming in. In the 70s, the Rastafarian movement was a little bit new to us. Rasta changed a lot, Rasta the real dread in the 70s. Say fire for Babylon, 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 burn, fire. But over a period of time, and Baldhead was very harsh against Rasta. But over a period of time, both of them smooth up. And now you have Baldhead Rasta and Rasta eating pork and Baldhead eating anything. So yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Fair,
Yes, my brother, welcome.
afternoon. Mr. Fair, some people had the concept of like when a government in power and you call and criticize any government in power, they saying that you hate the government. But I think you hate the government because so that when someone did injustice to someone and the person deserve it, you speak about the wrong that the person do to the government do. The government do what some the other person do to you, do to other person. It doesn't matter you hate, but the things that you do, right, that could deprive a man, right? And not say the man do anything wrong to make him lose your work, right? But because the man will okay, you spare the person and then you don't pay the person. Look, I do believe a government, election kind of government win. Yes, there are people that have to believe and have and with people they will bring in. When you do it the right way, any government, I request any government that did do another injustice and wrong thing to people. I don't right. I will say when we children do something wrong, we love our children, but we have to criticize the wrong thing. We cannot accept the wrong thing and the wicked thing people doing to one another. As we said, everyone have to be. They have a family, and if a man work, you're supposed to pay the man for the days he work. Right? And even the people that may work and the government send them home. I think the main issue of the people pay them. Pay them the money, they work for it and they deserve to get the money. So it's not a matter when you call and because some people have the concept when you call and talk about things that's going on and when people treating one another. Like if you hate, you hate. But you don't hate. We don't hate people. And but we hate the thing that God said in his word. I love the sinners, but the thing that you do to one another, the evil thing that you do to your brother or your sister, we hate it. I'm simply, I heard something through the grapevine that the prime minister looking into the increase of salary for ministers and he. I somebody was saying about 12,000 for ministers and a much heavier sum for he. I'm simply, I do believe everybody needs an increase in salary. But I remember the prime minister said the minister they are inexperienced. And you just coming into government, not even 2 months yet, and you're talking about increasing the salary. Because they were outside the lambase and say all kind of thing about the government that was there before. That was among them money, they get big money. Now they see the money what they getting. And they don't really start to work that perform yet. But they crying for our the money. Our the money. Everybody need. And if we speak about increasing salary, pay the people that work and they have to get money. Because they have children to go to school. School will be open somewhere on the 6th of September. They need to get us money for the children. I'm just say, and what I recognize it, like yes, some people believe when they support the government can do nothing wrong. Right? If they know what the government do that is wrong and the way they treat people, they still see it as something right. As something right. I always say wrong will always remain wrong. Right will always remain right. And we have to treat people the right way.
Yes,
The
Colin.
right way. So we have a blessing.
Yes, Colin, thank you. I think sometimes it's a little immature in the manner in which the government, the present government, start to behave. Most governments have a labor advisor, somebody within the labor movement to advise them. And the government perhaps should consult the labor advisor. I don't know who the labor advisor is. Because if you see there are jobs in the country that politicians get you. Government is the biggest employer in Grenada. And all governments in Grenada have been accused of enlarging the public service unnecessary. And I don't have a problem with that because one of the biggest problems we have in Grenada is unemployment among young people. So government is always trying to get way to find jobs for you. And then the public service is the one that they push people in. So a politician could get you a job, but it doesn't mean the job you have is a political job. A politician could put you in a job, but it does not mean the job you have is a political job. Now, if a new government comes and they want to get rid of some people, what they need to do is to pay the people in lieu of notice, pay them for the holiday, and pay them the salary. This is not rocket science. This thing has been laid down based upon convention and in other examples. Now, these people could go to the Ministry of Labor, and then the Ministry of Labor will call the relevant authorities and tell them that. But because they are doing it with a purpose to victimize individuals, they're doing it to vengeance. That is why they are using this method. They know better. And you see, that's what annoys me. They know better. It is not senior people. It's not people who heads department. It is not people under the Public Service Commission that is guided under the permanent jobs, pensionable jobs in the public service. These are what you call temporary, supernumeraries. The trade union like to call them temporary permanent. They could stay in that position for 10 years. So what the government needs to do is to pay these individuals. Give them the money in lieu of notice. The quantum is already specified. If they have holidays inside, you have to pay them for their holiday. You can't give them holiday now because you fire them. They ain't coming back. You have to pay them for their holiday. Now, the government is doing that, and I don't know. They believe they want to exact vengeance. That is the real purpose. They want to hurt these people because the government know what needs to be done. Now, caller, what you find happening, some people are going to try to intimidate you to hush your mouth. So when you're speaking, they will try to intimidate you. Some of them even go after your family members. I was in an interaction with we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Well, I'm going to make a statement, but also asking advice. As the longest serving, not just political activist, but experience-wise, I've been around public works for 25 years. And then in 1972, I was one of the youngest minister of government. I was second to Winston White in the Minister of Youth and Sports. I wondering if it is not wise that I should able to share my experience with this new government. I don't know how you respond. I think I should be able to share my experience because for being so long in the service and being so long, I should be able to give some advice to the parliamentary representative Patrick West, even the Prime Minister, because I've been there for a long time. So I don't know if it would be welcome or if it's a good idea or how I could get to do that, because if good come from the country, good come from all of us. I don't know. You go let me know.
All right, Colin. The president moved this government in, they don't want advice. Remember, when the government came in power, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, he said common decency dictates that all who the foreign mission should go. I thought it was a very insulting and arrogant statement. So the government practically collapsed the foreign policy personnel. And I believe it will take some months for them to get it all back. So when you find a young group coming, normally they don't want advice. The worst thing to do is to go and offer them advice. These individuals are very intelligent. They're young, they're hot-headed, and they're bitter. They don't want advice. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pekure.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah. And some people so call and condemn contract and things. Because I asking myself, if somebody come from overseas, like come from CCC or Kuwait, one them, and they come here to do some road or some Trinidad or all that, you put them a permanent job. Grenada. Maybe 98% of them was had permanent work job in Grenada. When they go to England will give them permanent. England put them on contract. So I see what they see contract is a bad thing. Contract is not a bad thing. You can even you have a few land. You might give them a contract to clear up a certain portion of bamboo or thing for you. Contract is not a bad. I don't know how they look at that contract as a bad thing. And no reality hit you in the face now. You realize I can't make everybody permanent. Contract is important. So some people have to think, because we have to listen to the Godfrey. Godfrey say he don't support no political party. When he asks, he say he went and vote. So I find that in negotiation, you would have put that many close the eye and make the X big guy. If you don't support a political party, why you vote? Well, this thing is so strange to me. Because some people just there and they're just saying things. They're saying things and they really are aware of what they're saying. You're saying same thing, and the public or they're listening. So it's a pleasure and have a good weekend.
Yes, my caller. Maybe you want to say you don't openly flaunt in a political party. There are some people who you would never see with a domino, an insignia, a jersey identifying with a political party. They may not campaign for a political party. They may not do anything publicly to support a political party. So what I think perhaps what he intended was to say, I don't openly flaunt a political party. But when he go and vote, he will vote for a political party or maybe a candidate in his constituency. And since Grenada, he might even argue that the constitution does not recognize political party, so he voting for an individual. But somebody of his personality and history, that might be a way to disguise the truth. because I think at one stage he even was associated with a political party and wanted to contest election, although people could change over a period of time. But maybe in recent times he have been trying to walk more kind of middle of the road, you know. So people say all these kind of things, and sometimes they just say that because they want to disguise the truth. You see, in a small country like ours, as I say, we under the British system, but we tend to want to follow the American influence of culture on us. And in addition to that, some people openly deceive or distort information, disinformation. So Grenada has the government is the biggest employer in Grenada. And after perhaps is the St. George's University. But we have high unemployment, maybe 20, 30% of what high unemployment. So you have a lot of young people unemployed. So governments, and more so the NNP government, because they have been there for the last two terms, 9 years. So they have a number of projects to try to keep people on the job market. So you have the Imani program, over 3,000. Project Fly, Project This. They introduce a program for people to go and help the elderly in their home. Now, Grenada have the most home for the aged in the region. Some social scientists is asking why. Is it because Grenadians do not have money, or is it a case of selfishness? I believe it is selfishness. People don't like old people. And over the past 9 years, there have been serious attack on old people, particularly coming from the opposition. The Prince of Hate. We had another individual who is a motivational speaker on radio. He said, give them old people armchair. Let it go home. One was saying, throw pee on them. All sorts of negatives. And we see a rippling effect on the ground. You had about 3 older men, elderly men, one in the 80s, that was stoned in the land. If you notice the demographics that goes on in party, you wouldn't see some elderly people going to some parties at all. And areas where elderly people frequent, you hardly see younger people. So Grenada have the most home for the aged in the Caribbean. In St. Patrick's here, about 15 to 16 people die from COVID-19 in a home. They close down the home now. One individual, an advanced age, left the home. I don't think they get him yet. I don't know if anybody bothered to go and look for him. I never heard the police make no ruckus about him. They must be Grenadian might say, thank God this old man dead. So they don't bother to go and look for him. Now you see some of the letters that I read out is people they get rid of that was taking care of the elderly. So we seem to have an attitude in Grenada that we find people too old. I don't know what attitude is that. And I have been studying some of those who attack the elderly the most on social media. Most of them is between 45 to 55, 60 years. It seems to me that they're getting afraid they'll get old. So they're attacking old people quick, hoping that would stunt the aging process. That is a serious issue. I have said to a few women that are good friends of mine, I say, by the time you reach 60 years, you're not going home. Because some of them have half in a child, some are one. They have good discretionary income. They have big houses, nice cars. They abandon the community long and the people in the upward as they rise in social status. And by the time you're 60, if you're a woman and you're living in a house, you're alone, and you don't have enough money for security, you could be very vulnerable. So you find all these things taking place. And that is why the government come in and started to employ people to go in the homes, in their home, to help some people. It's a very good program. I notice a number of people living in their home, but the people come and clean up the place twice or 3 times a week, they could do something for themselves and help them. Now, this is some of the individuals in Kariku that was given letters of dismissal. So it is, you don't understand. There are a number of changes taking place, and perhaps it's our culture. It is our culture now. Look at the type of songs that we listen to and we subject our children to. The lyrics in the song are practically pornographic. If you have a song playing in the house and is how she cock up, how she whine, where to jump, where to put it harder, the tattoo below the table, below the navel, and then you have your little children inside the house. And when they're playing these songs, they put their speaker on the veranda. So not them alone, that hear the whole neighborhood. What you expect will happen to these children 10 or 20 years now. Remember, during the carnival season, we were playing job almost every day. When we have job in Hermitage, we have job in Paraclet, we have Sulphur, job in Mountain, we have job in Maribor, job street. And then you have these type of songs with some very pornographic lyrics. Now, this is what our children are subjected to. Remember, there are no groups in the schools. A number of Grenadians raced to St. George's to see Emanuela and Auntie. And I asked some women, where are our aunties and Emanuela in the school? There are no concerts in the school, no groups in the school, no hikes, scout done, no cultural program. But we have our soca artists now. A long time you don't hear a song like Sparrow, Children Go to Sound Well, The songs are heavily provocative, sexual in nature, and borders on the realm of pornography. That is what we are calling on the line. Caller, welcome.
Thank you very much, Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Good, man.
Well, I'm enjoying your comments as usual. Never mind, I don't agree with you on everything, and probably everybody else. We are all of different temperaments, and so we all think differently in certain forms. However, I heard you mention yesterday in particular of parts of the scripture, and I'm so pleased to hear that. Saul, who became Paul. Saul was a terrible prosecutor, and then became Paul. And then, as you have mentioned again, all of us are sinners. We are, fallen short of the glory of God. All right? But I want to say this for today when I hear you just mention a while ago about the opposition, when they was in opposition and whatnot, and they talk about people and put them in wheelchair and whatnot, etc., old people. Well, let me tell you, in 2020, my leg was amputated. And when I was being discharged from the hospital, I was given a letter and I was advised that the Council for the Disabled will assist me for some time because the report from the doctor stated that I would need assistance with physical mobility for the rest of my life. However, I had a very bad encounter with both the coordinator and the president of the Council for the Disabled. However, at one time, it was told to me that my matter would go over to the SEED program. Gosh, I tell you, it's still, 2 years and months now, and I have not heard one word from the SEED program except to say that the coordinator maybe for the SEED program in my constituency sent me a serious message because why? When people come and visit me and they ask me how I'm getting along, I told them, look, this whatnot. They wanted to find out if I'm getting help from which program and whatnot. And I said to them, no and whatnot. One or two people decided to go and have a talk with the lady. And you know what the lady did to me about 2 months before election? She sent a stinging message to me about don't call her name, this or whatnot, etc. I can use some words that
she fix you up.
Yeah?
She fix you up.
That's what I'm telling you. To this day, I'm still here suffering. So, you see, what I'm saying is, I don't expect overnight changes. I don't expect overnight miracles. But at the same time, my leg is amputated. I own a stick shift vehicle.
And it's amazing. Most people wonder when they see me driving a stick shift vehicle with my left foot only. You know, I use my hand for the throttle and the brakes, and I'm competent enough. Even the police, when they see me on the street, they had to close their eyes and laugh.
Are you a retired person?
I am 67 years of age. I have been a farmer all the years of my life. All the years of my life. I have been doing nutmeg, cocoa, banana. I've been doing pears, pineapple, and short-term crops, cabbage, lettuce. I have a record of the biggest head of lettuce ever made in Grenada was sold to Rudolph's restaurant at one point in time.
I remember Rudolph's restaurant.
In the 1980s, okay? And so I'm a proud farmer. And when I hear the ex-prime minister make mention of his father as a farmer and he didn't benefit anything and his clothes were stained and whatnot, I had to laugh. And, because his father as a farmer, while he was farming, sent him to school with the money that he was getting as a farmer. And I find it strange that he would have turned around and make certain comments.
Sometimes I've heard a number of people make that statement. And sometimes I don't. I've always asked, did you hear the statement for yourself?
I heard him say that personally myself.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it there.
So, on the other hand, when he went to Canada and he talked about using word thief, what I'm telling you is, I heard, listen, in my land, in the 80s, I was stoned by men.
But that doesn't mean, you see, at some point we have to want to change things and make it better.
Right.
Grenada has moved by leaps and bounds.
The post servant and is a cell phone amount. So
okay, thank you. You see, Grenada has moved by leaps and bounds. And at some times, we always say, well, if it happened in the 20s, nothing wrong now. A lot has changed in Grenada. And we have to continue to change. One cannot, if you are a farmer, particularly if you're a successful farmer, and you have a vehicle, the people in the seed program is going to access your income, and you may not be qualified for assistance in the government program, even if you're missing a limb. Because you have to have the seed program, as far as I understand, is addressing a certain income. If I lose a leg now, seed program would not help me. But the government will still come for the tax because my income is more than $3,000 a month. And Grenada have one of the best tax threshold in the region and one of the best social safety net program in the region. And maybe that is one of the reasons we have one of the lowest crime rate in the region. Under the seed program, and I've been saying that for the last 7 years, there is no child in Grenada, no person in Grenada, whether NDC or NNP, could say that a child cannot go to school because they don't have the basic requirements. And this is things we need to be proud of. You might have isolated instances where you have some public officers that is unproductive, badly trained. However, we have to applaud and appreciate the significance of the achievement we have in Grenada. Now, on the question of farming, a lot of people have taken issue with our productivity level in farming. And an individual might say, my father has been a farmer for all his life. And sometimes I say, I'm sorry now that we didn't have the knowledge that we have now. Otherwise, my father perhaps could have been a more progressive farmer. And sometimes in this context we're speaking, we have to change in Grenada in our farming practices to become more than just doing farming to sustain us. And sometimes in that context, politicians speak. But politicians have to be careful because people weigh and measure every word. BJ always saying that. Master Carl was on that. We cannot continue to do farming as we do it. Take, for instance, people who go in, I don't like to say the word cocoa at all. Anytime you say cocoa, sometimes I just want to give back. But because I say it already, I'll continue. Every time I say Cocoa Association, a passion does come in me. If you have 1 acre of cocoa, you cannot make more than $6,000 per acre in the land per year. I don't know if they leave cocoa give us as a blight. I don't know if we have cocoa as a romantic crop. But if we continue doing the same thing with cocoa, the farmers will continue to remain in poverty. Because cocoa first is an estate crop. Now, if you have 1 acre cocoa, I think Mr. Bridgman would agree with me. You cannot get more than 7 bags of dried cocoa in an acre of cocoa. And for you to get an acre of cocoa, you must have shade and proper cultural practices and etc. And the age of the cocoa must be in top maturity. And that means about 1,500 pounds of cocoa. So if a farmer have 1 acre of cocoa, that farmer have to get extension to advise him to intercrop, to do. Sometimes you have to cut down a few of the old cocoa tree and plant yam, plant pumpkin, plant passion fruit, plant other crops to increase his income perhaps to $20,000 a year. Because if he is making $6,000 a year, he in poverty and he needs seed program. But if the people see you have a car, they might say, oh, what? We ain't getting you seed. You understand? Because if you have a van, they might give him seed. If you have a car, they go say vehicle. Because the car is not bringing in any income. So why you don't get rid of the car and buy a little van to help you in the line? So isn't this, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierce.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I personally heard the Prime Minister explain that statement that the gentleman just quoted on the steps of the Diamond Cocoa Factory now. At the day when the cocoa factory had opened, the Prime Minister, Dr. Kit Mitchell, explained that thoroughly because he's branding around for saying that his father worked land for years and wasn't able to buy pants and all this nonsense and that is a pauper. The gentleman said, if we continue to do farming in that primitive way, the farmers will die. What the gentleman was explaining is that you have to change the system of operation in farming. And he made that clear. And I'm certain if you look back in the archives of the day that the Diamond Cocoa Factory was opened, you will see what I'm saying.
Mr. Bridgman.
At that meeting, Mr. Tillman Thomas was there too.
Mr. Bridgman.
Yeah.
Because this statement become a political statement, nobody will change in view. Those who want to use it for political purpose will use it for political purpose. No matter, they wouldn't stop Mr. Bridgman.
They wouldn't. Because I am certain that the gentleman made more than one explanation to this thing.
Yeah, I could identify one. If we continue doing farming the way we're doing, we're going to waste a lot of time. If we continue eating macaroni pie instead of yam pie, same thing. Some of the farmers, when they go in a restaurant, watch them, Mr. Bridgman.
Listen, I have been traveling around Grenada, and I was an extension officer, so I know a lot of farms in Grenada, particularly from St. John's to Pointsfield. I know mostly every farm from St. John to Pointsfield, whole of Sotel, whole of Victoria. I could call mostly every farmer. And I am saying, at the way cocoa fields have been kept now, the majority of cocoa fields have been kept now, with the opening of that factory there, sooner or later, we wouldn't have cocoa to put in those factories. I want to emphasize what I say again. Are the way cocoa fields have been held now or managed now, if we continue that way for the next 20 years, the factory will be like a dying elephant.
Mr. Bridgman,
Yes.
how much cocoa you could get from an acre of cocoa?
Approximately 300 pounds, 3,000 pounds, 300 pounds, right? And that is well, it's a well kept, that cocoa field. And I haven't seen cocoa field in my immediate that is well kept.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Mostly all where you pass, you've seen cocoa branches touching the ground.
Yeah.
And badly, and they're not pruned.
I'm in full agreement with you on that.
And we cannot, because when we get rain nowadays, you have a lot of water remaining on the cocoa trees, and that encouraging more of the black pod. So the more black pod you have, is less pod you could have it.
Yeah, thank you.
And which is boom.
I see the assistant Maria Alex. Half of them that talking farming, their children is lawyers and doctors. They don't let in their children study farming. Well, we grew up in the estate, and all of us are very knowledgeable about farming. Father was a serious poor farmer, but thank God some of these children get some education. Otherwise, Jumbi would have take us in the farm. Because cocoa is over the last 30 odd years, I've not planted a cocoa tree or a nutmeg tree in Milan. I have enough cocoa and nutmeg Milan. When a tree die, I'm not planting back one. And the Cocoa Association, when you speak about a topic, yesterday I was on this topic, but this last action the Cocoa Association take, I don't know if they're mad or if they're crazy. And I don't know if we have to get some journalists to go and ask them, because they would not come on program. Real FM, you have a call on the line. Caller, welcome. Yes, my brother.
Mr. Bridgman say about concern Nico. Just now we don't get nothing to put it back here, because I about 2 weeks ago, I went on the man propagation day. And the majority of plants that remain right now is cocoa plant. When you watch the other plants he had, they have different sexual plants. But the Amoga cocoa, I asked the guy, I say, when people do, he said they hardly purchase cocoa plant. And that is problem. Because I tell you that I don't plant that cocoa tree again.
No.
The last time I planted cocoa, maybe about 7 years ago, was the last time I planted a cocoa tree. And I promise not to plant, never to plant a cocoa tree again. If anybody tree and I go after, I want to take over, do it, but I don't plant a cocoa tree again. I tell you, if you want to go and visit a farm right now, man farm right now, and you will see the majority of plants out there right now are nice, strong plants. It's cocoa plant. I tell you, in the earlier time, when I know going to go visiting there, you have to struggle to get that one. You get some small plants to get in. Most people plant gone, but right now, people do that. Source up different avocado, all different things, mango. They say that people take it. People are taking cocoa again. And Mr. Bridgman is right. I tell you, you could visit there right now and see. About 2 weeks ago, I read that the most plants are whatever remain on the farm is cocoa plants. Take care, Mr. Perry.
Yes, it doesn't seem, thank you, caller. It doesn't seem that the Cocoa Association have any interest in husbandry. It doesn't seem that. And it's not a long time. After Hurricane Ivan, Cocoa Association fired the extension service. And the government employed them. The government said, no, you can't do that. So they employ them back in different areas. And now Cocoa have the heart, they have the guts, they have the balls to send out a proposal, open a company, and they have 150 shares for farmers. But each farmer could only get 3 shares. I understand that is what they're giving free. Well, if you have 150,000 shares for farmers, and each farmer get 3 shares, so that means you cater for 50,000 farmers. And know that 70% of the people who exit school in Grenada cannot pass maths and cannot pass English. So I know they know the majority of these people can add good. But how if you have 150,000 shares and 3 shares for farmer? The farmer have up to the end of September to get it. He must go in St. George's. So already you're hoping to get rid of some farmers. And I don't know if we have 3,000 farmers. I mean, I asking how in God's name? And the woman bring it back, She says some farmers have children that is lawyers, doctors, economists. So why all these bright people in Grenada? So wait, no, them journalists don't. Those journalists in Grenada, the parents don't have cocoa. Why we must take advantage on people like that? The Minister of Finance, Mr. Persuader, Brother Persuader, was an extension officer. And maybe for the last 10 years, he was associated with nutmeg and cocoa. I wouldn't surprise if you have an input in this thing. How you could tolerate that? Now, after the farmers purchase the 3 shares, not purchase, accept, not accept. After they get the 3 shares, out of 150,000 shares, that might be about 9,000 shares because it's about 3,000 farmers you have. So what happened to the other 141,000 shares? Plus you're giving them 25%. I mean, why is it these people are so emboldened that they believe because they have a briefcase or certificate, they are the smartest people since sliced bread? There are a number of us in this society that have the ability to get a briefcase or certificate too. Maybe we didn't take the opportunity. So why is it you doing that? And we have a gentleman who is the Lord have mercy, the farmers' representative in the Senate. How all these people could stay silent when Cocoa Association, who refuse, I've heard on many occasions, Real FM for years, begging them to come on the radio station, pleading give them. Real FM say, well, if you find St. Patrick's too far, and I agree with them, St. Patrick's far into, we're going to come to you. And they try even to reach in Grenville so they could meet them halfway. They still avoid it. And no other journalists in Grenada, I say to some of our journalists, Caribbean journalists will start to laugh at you all. All you have to do better. All you have to find Cocoa Association where they are and speak up for them, because it seems to me now that they would take the lead from the government that says information is on a need-to-know basis. And they believe they have enough social warriors to defend the position. I plead with my brothers on the Cocoa Association and the Nutmeg Association, because both of us is one, same group of people. Explain to the public. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. It seems as though we lost this caller. Explain to the public what you mean by this thing. How you come about to determine that the farmer should only get 3 shares. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, well, I'm forced to call back again.
Yes, nothing wrong. Go ahead.
If every farmer at this point in time were to neglect the cocoa and the agriculture field and whatnot, that is where we would get killed. You see, the idea is, my concept and my feeling, I have 2 boys, 13 and 16, and they amazes me. You know, the 16-year-old one, when I see him using the chainsaws, I wonder, you know, how I couldn't start the chainsaw. I had to put it on his tongue, put my foot, mash it, and pull it to start it. He hold it in his hand, and he gets it started.
Yeah, how many years do you have? 16?
He does very well. So I don't want to discourage these kids in farming. And they are doing very well in their computer. They are what you call computer wizards.
Well, make them know that they have to make money in farming.
I don't want you.
This is the key.
You know, that cell phone now, and
all right, okay.
So, you know, the idea of, you know, if we go to discourage this farming thing,
we are not caller.
Yeah?
We're not discouraging farming. What we do is speaking the truth.
hear somebody comment, some of those guys.
Yes, and those people are farmers, so they're speaking the truth.
Maranto Plain and whatnot. My farmland my farm is a small farm. It was known as the St. Andrews Estate from the Batai, the Fedor people. Okay, so and I am proud of that. Okay, the first town on the island by the French, Marquis. Okay, my farmlands are located in. Well, I have a piece of land that is called behind the fort. Right?
So your sons are deeply involved in agriculture.
I am very deeply involved, and as I said yesterday, even if I have 1 foot, you won't imagine. I draw 5 bag of coals yesterday.
Well, that is very good. You are isolated case, and maybe you're doing well. You have cocoa in your farm.
Same time.
Do you get the share ready from Cocoa Association?
Well, the truth is, because my leg is amputated.
Well, let your son go and get it for you.
No, I have not actually gone to.
Well, that is what we're speaking about. They have 150,000 shares, but the farmers only could get 3.
I understand that. My children will take over with that.
Well, yes, please get your children in that area.
I am close.
Because I believe there is a Ponzi scheme. Go and find out.
I'm not going to give up on farming.
Yeah. Thank you, Colin.
My young child, 16 years, and his rabbit seeing. You know, he does all kind of things.
But you're doing something with the pelting rabbit?
Yeah?
You're doing something with the pelting rabbit?
The rabbit?
You sell born rabbit?
Listen, we go talk on it.
Yes, Colin. Yeah. Well, if you want born rabbit, Trippi's Minimat is the only place in Grenada you could go and get a born rabbit. And a number of people have rabbit, but they're not making money in it. And what we want people to do is to do well. And in the meantime, we must point out these issues. And I decided to rest my laurels on cocoa. But after I noticed cocoa put out this company, I pick up my guns again. I'm very sorry. I think you must give us some explanation. And I do hope maybe some journalists real FM in St. Patrick's try. It don't make sense they're trying again. Because these people felt that St. Patrick's was too far to come up. So they went down to St. Andrews. I know that. So now maybe the journalists in St. George's could go across in Cocoa Association. And I'm certain some of you parents have lands and have cocoa tree in it. And find out about this chocolate company they opening. They have 150,000 shares for farmers, but a farmer could only get 3 shares. So this 150,000 that they put aside, they know less than 3,000 farmers is going to get the share. And to find out why is it they're taking advantage on their own people. And we're very happy that you join us today on our program on WhatsApp, Facebook, and many able to give us a call, and we thank you very much.
Our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained.